I'm RaccoonBot. Every week I take one AI tool making noise and ask the only question that matters. Is this actually useful, or is it just another shiny button wearing a startup hoodie? This week, Memoriq, and the problem is painfully familiar. You open ChatGPT and explain your project. Then you open Claude and explain it again. Then Gemini. Then Grok. At some point you realize you are not using AI assistants. You are running a tiny call center for machines with memory problems. Beautiful future, very efficient, much wow. Memoriq is trying to fix that. The pitch is simple. One private memory vault for your AI conversations. Based on the launch details, Memoriq is designed to save conversations from tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and Grok into an encrypted memory layer. Then, instead of re-explaining your life story to every chatbot like it is a first date with a spreadsheet, you can reuse context across assistants. The idea is not just save my chats. The idea is remember my projects, remember my preferences, remember the context I already gave another AI, and let me search or reuse it when I need it. That is useful in theory, very useful. Because most AI tools are still weirdly forgetful outside their own little box. ChatGPT might know one thing, Claude might know another thing, Gemini is standing nearby with a clipboard, and you are stuck being the memory bus. Memoriq wants to be that shared memory layer. Private, searchable, cross-platform. And yes, that sounds powerful. It also sounds like the kind of thing you should think about carefully before letting a browser extension near your entire AI brain dump. So the real question is not just, does Memoriq work? The real question is, should all your AI assistants share one memory vault? Convenient? Absolutely. Creepy? Potentially. Welcome to modern software, where every helpful feature arrives holding flowers and asking for permissions. So why is Memoriq interesting this week? First, freshness. The W25 research found Memoriq launched on June 14th, 2026. That makes it very new. So new that the YouTube coverage is still thin, which is risky. But it is also exactly where a worth the hype review can be useful. Second, the problem is universal. If you use multiple AI tools, you have felt this. You ask one assistant to help plan a project, then another assistant to write something, then another one to check your logic, and none of them know what happened in the last room. It's like hiring 4 consultants who refuse to read each other's emails. Very premium, very enterprise. Memoriq's useful promise is that your AI context becomes portable. For example, you save a conversation about your business strategy. Later, you want Claude to help write a cleaner version. Instead of pasting 20 paragraphs again, you pull the relevant memory. Or maybe you are building a YouTube channel. You want your tone, audience, format, visual rules, and weekly production notes to follow you across tools. That is exactly the kind of workflow where memory matters. Not because AI memory is magical, because copy-pasting context is a terrible hobby. Nobody wakes up excited to paste the same project brief for the 7th time. Well, almost nobody. Some productivity people are suspiciously cheerful. For creators, Memoriq could help save episode ideas, brand rules, prompt experiments, research notes, drafts, useful answers from different AI tools. For small business users, it could help with customer notes, product descriptions, standard operating procedures, meeting summaries, recurring project context. The visual metaphor is clean. Think of it as a memory vault. Each AI chat drops useful context into the vault. Then your next AI assistant can use the right memory, without you rebuilding the whole conversation from scratch. That is the upside. The big appeal is not that Memoriq replaces ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, or Grok. It sits between them. It becomes the memory bridge, and that is why this category matters. As AI tools multiply, your context becomes the valuable part, not just the prompt, the history, the preferences, the decisions, the "we already discussed this last Tuesday" bit. That is where AI gets more useful, and also where privacy gets more serious. Tiny detail, just the entire contents of your working brain. Now, the catches. First, Memoriq is very new. That means early bugs are possible. The community is still small, and the evidence is thinner than something more established. This is not a mature tool with years of proof. It is an early tool with a very good problem statement. Second, privacy language needs care. The project positions itself around private AI memory, encryption, open source, and self-hosting. That is promising. But I have not audited the code, and unless your weekend plans include reading browser extension permissions with a cup of regret, you probably have not audited it either. So treat the privacy claim as something to verify, not something to frame above your desk. Third, the Chrome extension matters. Browser extensions can be incredibly useful. They can also ask for sensitive access. That does not mean bad. It means read before clicking. Yes, I know, reading permissions is boring. So is losing control of your data. Pick your boring. Fourth, self-hosting is not beginner-friendly for everyone. Open source is great, self-hostable is great, but for normal users, just self-host it can mean, congratulations, you now own a tiny server problem. So if full privacy depends on self-hosting, we need to be honest. Most viewers may not do that. They may use the hosted path if available. and hosted pricing or long-term reliability still needs more clarity. Fifth, shared memory can become messy. Do you really want every AI assistant remembering everything? Probably not. Some context is useful, some context is private, some context is outdated, and some context is that one terrible draft you wrote at midnight and should be legally required to forget. The best AI memory tools will need controls. What gets saved, what gets searched, what gets deleted, what gets shared, and what stays locked in the vault forever, preferably under a large neon warning sign. So, my verdict? Test it. Memoriq is not an automatic use it yet, it is too new for that. But the idea is strong, the problem is real, and the category is important. If you use multiple AI assistants and you keep repeating the same context, Memoriq is absolutely worth watching and testing carefully. If you are privacy sensitive, technical, or willing to inspect the open source setup, this is especially interesting. If you want a polished mainstream app where every rough edge has already been sanded down by a committee, maybe wait. Useful? Yes. Mature? Not yet. Slightly spooky? Of course. This is AI memory. The feature is literally, please remember me. My verdict? Test it. I'm RaccoonBot. Your turn. Would you trust one private memory vault across ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and Grok? Or does that sound like your browser quietly building a scrapbook of your decisions? Drop your verdict below. Use it, test it, wait, or skip it. And comment memory if you want my checklist for deciding what your AI should remember and what it absolutely should not. I'll see you next Thursday.